I coordinate the Agri-Business Facility for Africa. Intervening in such a context, the destruction of jobs can easily become a first negative impact. To enhance the potential of MSMEs in processing and employment, it is essential to strengthen the entrepreneurial, technical and commercial capacities. In 2018, the Forest and Environment Program in Cameroon and in Mauritania adapted the PBS to non-timber forest product. The Green Innovation Center program in Côte d'Ivoire has also adapted PBS for the processing of cocoa byproducts into commercial products.
My name is Henry Lobwe, and I am part of the AFC Agriculture and Finance Consulting Team, which has been entrusted by Green Innovation Center, Ivory Coast, with the processing of cocoa, cassava and plantains byproducts. In the AFC team, we have chosen to valorize everything that producers throw away after extracting the cocoa beans, because only the cocoa beans used to be marketed. Once the beans are removed, the pods and the bulbs juice are valorized and bring substantial gains to the producer. As for the cocoa cortex, we have developed a technology to transform it into eatable mushroom and briquettes. The mushrooms brings nutrients to the producer as well as additional income, and the cooperative also market the briquette, which are profitable from an economic and environmental point of view. By producing the briquette with the cocoa cortex from 3 hectares of cocoa plantation, 1 hectare of forest is preserved through the use of briquettes instead of firewood. This work was carried out in partnership with the ABF program, which helped us to develop PBS training manuals that are now used to promote PBS in the agricultural sector in Ivory Coast.
The Processor Business School was designed by GIZ to promote entrepreneurship of these processors, building on the principles of the FBS approach.
A master trainer is a PBS trainer who has gone through the whole certification process with well-developed standard criteria set by the GIZ ABF. After classroom training and on-the-job training, he or she conducts a number of high-quality mass training, and only after this stage is he or she eligible for the master trainer certification process. A PBS master trainer is responsible for introducing the approach to a community or country, developing and strengthening the operational capacity of the trainers, who will subsequently be responsible for training the target group, including women processors.
Welcome to the processing unit of Gotramo. The mechanist of this unit serves almost 3 subdivisions. We have women who come from Mindoro, Mesok, Gwela, and even Malaya towards the frontier of Lomie, Yokadoma.
My name is Ochamzo Angel. I was part of the PBS training at Lumier.
It is a project which started long time ago with GIZ. I am among the presidents of the cooperatives. I was trained by 2 master trainers. After being trained, I was retained. I train other women at Lumier. We wish that entrepreneurship develops from point A to point B. The women started from a level where they were not organized and had no idea of what we call enterprise. But with this training, we equipped them with knowledge. There are 10 modules that we developed and which are adapted to the level of participants.
Before this training, I used to practice wrong techniques of collection, of storing and peeling of the fruits of Moabi.
I am called Marie Ntenge. In the past, I went to the bush. I picked my Moabi.
When I went to pick my Moabi in the forest, I came back and dried it directly on the bare ground. And when squeezing it, we proceeded by the traditional method. We measured it in a bowl of 2 liters, using almost a kilogram of muabi. In squeezing by this traditional method, I extracted 1 liter of oil, which was, by the way, of bad quality and poor coloration.
I produced my oil and sold it without objective. If I obtained even 300 francs from the sales, it was sufficient for me. I didn't consider profit. I divided my oil into 2, a part for sales and the other for my family.
After my PBS training, I now come to transform my muabi at the processing unit situated at Lomier. Compared to the traditional method, this technique gives me more than just 1 liter and extracts good quality.
Another advantage is that it is rapid and efficient.
And it is this oil that can also be sold expensive enough and enables me to have more money to meet my family's needs.
Now when I sell 5 liters of oil, I have at least 1,500 francs of profit to wait for the next year. And sometimes we do little savings, so that when the time comes, I am able to purchase material to enter the bush. I also have to look to whom and how to sell. It gave me the desire and motivation to go ahead, because before we had sold without organization.
There is already impact on the field because the products are produced after they have learned the methodology. The collected oil yield increases, and this enables the women to have a higher revenue.
My name is Abraham Autaxa. I am an expert in the development of North Timber Forest project. I work for the Eco-Consult Groups, which is the German law firms. The PBS is the Processor Business School, and we have implemented in the North and Far North regions.
I am Anavai Lucy, married Temva. I was born in Tokombere. In the PBS framework, I am a processor and also president of a group of women called the Association of Women Volunteer for the Development of Meskine. I am in the first cooperative of Marua. We produce neem oil. Whenever GIZ had field trips, they would find us on the roadsides, in groups or individually, collecting neem seeds. Individually, we weren't serious about what we were doing. We heated the seeds in the water and then squeezed them with our hands. We took the packages from recycling boxes in the streets and rinsed them to put the oil of our seeds inside to be sold. But the quantity of oil obtained was very insignificant.
With the support of the PBS, we have initiated training module, practical notebooks, and also the stage of preparing trainers since they had to be deployed in the field to train the targeted group.
Bonjour. Merci. I'm Muvumbondi Sylvestre, PBS trainer. The modules consist of training the learner in what they started doing and getting them to understand that they are the ones who are going to improve it.
And the majority of the target groups, despite their intellectual level, still find themselves in this approach.
And in this approach, there's the entrepreneurial component. That is to say, discovering that I'm an entrepreneur, knowing what tools I need to grow my business and then asking myself the question, do I win? If I win, isn't there another way to win more? And in this other way of earning, do I have to work alone? Not at all. I have to work as a team. If I have to work as a team, what are the techniques so that we can produce together and sell together? And for whom am I doing this work? For the family, and therefore we can be able to eat.
Many things have changed. Even the standards of living of women has changed. Even in our ways of working. When we have our grain, we take them to the crusher. We put them in a winnower, then we go to the press unit to get oil. We spend little and have high quality oil, and they are bottled for that. We package them and then we label them.
Okay, I met my nutritional needs. I understood that I have to calculate before I start. I have learned that it's necessary to renew my equipment. I have understood that it's necessary to have a stock of input before starting. Now, what strategy to use to be efficient and profitable? Here are the models. There are 10 of them.
The change is visible. The majority of women who were on the traditional processing field, if I can say so, are gradually migrating to the most improved practices of the oil extraction techniques in which they are invested.
In the PBS training, we never found ourselves having less. We have always had benefits. We are already saving money, unlike in the past. And there is also a sinking fund that we have set aside to replace worn-out equipment. Since we are an enterprise, we must do everything to ensure that our activity is continuous.
Some are very enthusiastic when it comes to PBS training, and it is evident in the field. We see at the level of the collection, the changes that take place, oil that are conditioned. We no longer find cooperative with paperwork, but the simplified accounting that is done. So I think gradually that this band will become enterprising band. It is an approach that can be adapted to all activity.
And with the techniques that have been improved, namely the introduction of presses, these trainings are adaptable to any type of income generating activity. Regarding the environment, for example, we not only start from seeds, we also plant trees to guarantee the potential. These same tools are adaptable to other activities for entrepreneurial development in this sector, and I can guarantee you that even in livestock farming, we have the input, the equipment. We look at what we earn and what we lose. What strategy do we develop to win more?
The development of the first technical and economic modules began with the colleagues of the RISE Pro-Agri program in Benin. The adaptation of PBS in different contexts has enabled PBS to be experienced on a larger scale in several countries. The introduction of PBS in Cameroon, for example, in the processing of non-timber forest products was easier because the methodology was already known.
ABF support project wishing to integrate PBS at their request. This introduction is done in 5 successive steps. It should be noted that during these 5 stages, ABF works permanently with the program to provide advisory support.